Stanley mug.
That's okay. Judging.
Dude, it's the best thing to have on your nightstand. I don't know why, but do you ever wake up in the middle of the night just dying of thirst?
I don't know if I do.
Do you
Not
wake
sure.
up at night?
Not often. I mean, yes and no. Not all the time, I would say. I don't
Wow.
know. You?
That's Oh yeah.
Really? All the time? What's that about? I think that's like,
I don't know. I think it's leftover from work.
oh, from the fire department?
Yeah.
I can see
I
that.
usually wake up anytime between 2 and 5.
Really? Randomly?
Yeah, oh yeah.
No shit.
Yep. Every night.
So I get up every morning at 4,
Okay.
do my workout shit. So if I weekends, I'm up by 5 or 4
Yeah.
because of that. Like you set so it makes sense why you're like, that's pretty much how you've been for a while. So your body's going to do that shit.
Just naturally.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
I read an article saying like you have to have 8 hours of sleep or you're kind of going backwards, supposedly. I don't know if that's true or not.
I think there's some people for sure.
Yeah. Lisa, like, she doesn't get a good 8, 9 hours of sleep. Migraines, 100%.
Yeah, trends that way.
Yeah. And like some people, like women especially, need to have that shit.
I mean, you could call me at midnight and be like, "Hey, we got to leave at 4 tomorrow morning and go pick this thing up or whatever." No problem. Wake up and I could drive for 10 hours. Not a big deal.
I feel like most men are that way.
If it's like, oh, it's midnight and I just have to get up at 4 to go to the gym or something.
Right.
I'm like, that's, I don't wake up like raring to go.
Most days I do.
Really?
Yeah, most days I'm ready to go.
I wish I woke up just like fired up.
Dude, my boys, it's like pulling teeth to get him out by 6. Get him out by 6:30. Keegan's just like, you could tell, like, it's amazing because they must have like their moms, like Lisa's DNA from or more of that for their stature because Keegan's a monster. Like he's already, so like you can tell his body is like always needing food. He eats like everything in the house.
Yeah.
He's always tired and dragging ass. Like his body's like working overtime. It's funny to me. But like some people operate that way. Like Justin works for us. He like, dude, that guy's like same age as me and never sits, just wide open. Doesn't watch TV because he has no time. Always doing shit. Like there's no like slowing down for him.
Yeah.
And then but then Oscar, like, you know, not a lot of body material on him. Kind of like.
Has he gotten his T levels checked?
I don't think so.
Naylor and I were talking to him about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when we were all hanging out under the tent in the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colin and I were talking about like, because someone made a comment. Not that I have a lot of room to talk, you know. I'm not like an overly stocky dude.
Right.
But Oscar makes me look pretty.
He's a lean
stout.
He's a lean animal, right?
Yeah, and I don't remember who said it first, but one of us was like, "Have you gotten your T levels checked?" And I think I said it, and then Colin was like, "Yeah, man, have you done that? Like, you need to be doing get your blood work done." And Colin and I started talking about how often we will have ours done. Like I had mine done this morning,
right?
And he's like, "No, I haven't," you know, and just like talking about like what you eat. And as I say that as I'm drinking a beer.
That's fine. We're drinking whiskey and I'm doing the Dayquil, so I'm sure that's not helping.
But I started the morning off with five farm fresh eggs.
Oh, there you go. Well, I mean, I just think everyone's built differently, and Oscar being, you know, he's built more of that stature where he's just lean.
Yeah.
It seems like, dude, like, I can always tell, like, if he's always eating. Like, he always has. So it's interesting. You see people's body, like, dynamics versus other people and what they can go through or what they need to keep going.
Yeah.
I always think it's kind of interesting.
He's got to have a high metabolism.
Oh, I think so, dude. The fucking kid probably can't put an ounce of weight on him. He'll never get fat, dude. He'll never get fat.
Like, I'm in the same boat.
He can eat whatever he fucking wants. I remember working in the shop, and Justin and I would go out and get greasy hamburgers and French fries every fucking day. And I remember the older guys in the shop, they were like motherfucking us for that. And I'm like, I literally made this comment. I said, dude, I can eat whatever the fuck I want. Fuck you guys. Like, nothing touches me. I'm thin all the time. And dude, it's right after Lisa and I got married in my late 20s, early 30s. And it just like started packing on the weight.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I remember it like coming in and going, dude, I'm fucking fat. Because Lisa, like, because when we first got married, I was telling you, like, she'd make cookies every night when I got home. I was eating like crap. There's a picture of me. I should find it where I was holding Shane on my lap on a lawnmower. And dude, I was unrecognizable.
Really?
Yes, I should find it. I'm sure I can get on my phone here as we're talking.
I've got to see that.
Okay, I'll
That
see if I
is
can find it.
hilarious.
It's on my screensaver on my computer, so I know for a fact it's on here. So
I've said to a lot of people the same thing, you know, like I really don't gain weight. And they're like, well, you will one day. Like,
right.
what?
I remember people saying that.
Yeah.
One day, dude, you're going to
One day it's going to catch
I'm
up
like,
to
yeah,
you.
F you, dude. There's no way.
Well, I've asked my dad and my brother. And
your dad's a big guy.
yeah.
Your dad's a big dude. He's a big human.
He's a big human. But he told me he's got a really great way of explaining it. But he grew up with a pretty abusive dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
His dad told him to his face on more than one occasion that he was the biggest thorn in his side and he wished he never would have been born.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's gnarly.
Yeah. So he went into the Navy the same size that I am and came out like at, even smaller, I guess. I think he went in at like 150 and a 30-inch waist or something and came out at 200 with a 32-inch waist.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
He's like, I had a chip on my shoulder and I had something to prove. And all I did, he's like, you go into the chow hall, you can eat as much as you want. So he's like, I just ate and ate and ate and worked out constantly. And
I didn't know he was in the Navy.
Yeah, he was in the Navy for 4 years.
No shit.
And then fire department for 30.
Wow.
But he said that the eating like that didn't catch up to him until he was 50.
That's when it hit.
And same with my brother. He
Really?
said like, yeah, right about 50 is when like all of a sudden like, oh, if I drink too many beers tonight, doing that a lot,
right?
Like start to see some weight coming on.
All you young guys that listen to our Derpy podcast, remember, it's all fun and games to get older.
Yeah.
Then it's downhill from there.
Yeah.
I gotta find this picture.
I just can't see you being fat.
Oh, yeah, I gotta find it. It'd blow your mind. I'll have to look for it.
Do you struggle with it now at all?
No, I mean, what got me into it was when I was racing a lot and you had to work out and you had to train and be healthy and jog and stay, I got one point where I got super thin. In fact, I had people think that I had cancer. I had another shop owner. I went and visited his shop and I just bullshit him. He goes, dude, look like you have cancer. I got so thin. I think I got down to, I was 130 or 145. Like I got super thin.
That's real thin.
Yeah, I just spent time on a spin bike. That's all I fucking do. I'd pump out it was like almost an hour on a spin bike every day. Just gnarly cranking it out. And Lisa's like, you and then which is weird because when you're motoing, you think, oh, I didn't do my research, dude. I was stupid. And I got more injuries at that weight than I ever have at any other weight.
Right.
Racing.
Because you don't have
the material around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so a buddy of mine that I grew up racing with got big into Ironmans. So I started like using some of his intel. And so then I'm like, I'm backwards. So, it's one of those things that I think for us men that, I know we had Paul on here and he's talking about testosterone shit and this and that. Dude. I'm almost 50 and I remember my buddy Randy that I grew up racing with goes, oh, Devin, when you hit your 40s, you'll fucking feel it. And I'm like, no, bitch, you're whatever. It's a fact, dude. You feel things differently. It starts coming on.
I'm only 33.
Yeah.
And I feel it like just in the sense that like my sports have always been snowboarding and wakeboarding. And I used to be able to go hard every day, and like take big slams.
Get up, no problem.
Finish out the day, get up the next morning. Like if it was, Christmas break or whatever at the mountain, I'm up there every single day. And, not a big deal. Didn't hurt. Now, if I take a big slam, I hurt for a week.
It
And
sucks.
it sucks. And you just like, I can still do most of what I could do before. I'm not as ballsy as I used to be just because I think my brain is more developed.
Yeah.
But like, I feel it more when I crash for sure.
So what got me onto the TRT shit was when I'd go out and turn laps for Moto, the next day I was hurt. I was sore. And I'm like, something's not right. Like, and my angst was big, right? At least
Right.
that's what Lisa noticed. And so once I got my shit figured out, I could go Moto on a Wednesday night practice or a Thursday night practice. And I could wake up and I'm good to go to work out in the morning at 4 in the morning. Before
And
that,
feel fine.
yeah, I'd feel fine. I wasn't like sore. So it made a difference. So that's kind of why I hear people bag on it. And I'm like, I felt like that was the writing on the wall. You know, that was a big
What?
deal. As our bodies get older, our testosterone or all the bullshit,
Oh yeah.
it fucking starts just going away.
Yeah.
Right? Be it the food we eat or whatever. So
Well, the food we eat makes a huge difference.
100%. Like, I'm sure the Dayquil is just packed full of fucking great nutrients and help your body grow. Yeah, right. But
yeah, but you don't consume that when you're not sick.
no, but I would say though, for people out there, and like Oscar is, dude, that kid is a savage. He works his ass off, but I could definitely tell like him and Shane, my oldest, are built the same way.
Yeah.
And Shane, dude, he gets wiped out quick. He
Really?
goes, oh yeah, dude, we'll go up to the mountain snowboarding. He puts us all in, rides, goes over the bars. He's just all over the place, right? And the next day he's dragging ass.
Oh,
Yes, Keegan.
Interesting.
Yeah, Keegan, who is stout, he's like me.
Yeah.
Not so much. He doesn't affect him as bad.
Yeah, but he doesn't push it quite as hard.
Not as hard as Shaner. Shaner, like, but Oscar,
I had so much fun snowboarding with Shane.
oh, he cracks me up. His riding is unreal.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, it cracks me up. But Oscar, I feel like is almost the same way. It's like I think when you're lean and thin, a lot of meat on your bones, like you don't have that reserve almost. So I mean, I'm sure someone's gonna tell us different. Some doctor or like maybe even Colin would tell us different because I think Colin's got his shit figured out.
Colin's really dialed
Yeah.
on health and nutrition and all of it.
And like I watch what Shane drinks. I'm like, Shane, don't drink those fucking energy drinks.
Yeah.
Dude, stay off that shit.
That stuff makes I feel I can drink, a decent amount of beers, and as long as I'm drinking enough water and eating healthy, wake up the next morning and feel fine.
Yeah.
If I eat like too much candy or sugar or eat like too much processed food, I'll wake up in the morning feeling hungover without
Really?
even drinking.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
I see that.
It's just like I just don't feel good. But my mom was a total hippie.
Yeah.
Like I was born at home in a log cabin in a snowstorm. All of my baby food was like homemade.
You were set up to win and you tainted it with fucking alcohol, John.
Well,
way to go.
Both my parents also love to party. So it's
Is that like the offset? Like, hey, we're gonna like feed you good shit, but then we're gonna slam you full of like we're gonna like go out and party, whiskey, all the good stuff, have fun, but go back to eating right.
Oh,
it
yeah.
offsets it. I mean,
I don't know. My dad's 83 and I don't drink. I'd never drank as hard as he did.
Well, he looked pretty good last time I saw him.
Yeah, he's slowing down just because his back's messed up, but that's due to the nature of the work he did.
Could you imagine being like doing that shit and lifting heavy stuff like that, doing firefighter shit for that long? And
No.
you're going to have your back fucked up.
Oh, yeah. It's just especially at that time, like I don't know if I've said this before, but, he worked at a time where you were considered a wimp if you went into a house with a respirator on, or like your air pack. Like, what, you can't handle it?
Isn't it funny how things evolve? It used to be like if you wear a helmet snowboarding, you're a pussy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, dude, that guy wears a helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you go there and you're like, dude, that guy's not wearing a helmet. That's a dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's to that point.
And you get out from like the fire instance and you light up a cigarette,
Yeah.
Yeah. And helmets, especially. I worked with a guy. He was a student at the fire station, good kid who now is like doing great. He's a lieutenant at a different department, like killing it. But he was still in school and took a nasty spill at the mountain and knocked himself out. Kind of like what you and I were talking about, woke up
in the hospital,
concussion, and he couldn't count anymore. Like he failed math classes. Like he was in college and failed multiple classes that he was doing just fine in before this accident, not wearing a helmet at the mountain,
Oh,
and just came over on a low vis day,
yeah.
came over a rise into a drop where there was a big like snow chunk that just caught him and rattled his brain, and it set him back in his career at least a year.
I think head injuries are so like people don't take it like a good helmet for granted.
Oh, not
I
at
love
all.
when like in the moto scene you see these guys that go and buy a $10,000 bike and then they put $150 helmet on their head, and like we're always like that's the last thing you want to do. Like
Yeah.
that's the last thing you want to do is put some ching chong pile of shit helmet on your head for a bike that you really probably aren't supposed to be on at some point.
Oh
Or at
yeah.
least like, hey, I just bought this brand new 450. You ever ridden one? No, dude, I'm good. And like, let me put this $100 and $50 helmet on and go out to the dunes. I'm just like, okay.
It amazes me the people that will buy a bike that like is completely unwieldy to their skills.
Dude, a 450. I was talking to a friend of mine that I grew up racing with, and he went back to he's about my age, getting close to 50, and he went back to 250Fs. He goes, I've never been more hurt than on a 450, and the 250s are like a lot safer. And this guy just won. He races the 40 money class. Like he hauls. He's a very, very good rider, and he can do 30-minute moto sessions wide open. It's pretty impressive. And he's like, yeah, he's not a slouch. He's like, yeah, I feel way more competent on a 250F
Yeah.
than a 450. So, but yeah, some bikes a fucking dirt bike, doesn't matter what brand it is, it can fuck you up pretty quick.
Well, and learning your skills on a less powerful bike
Yeah.
is, I think, but that's how I've done it. Like I can hang with JP on his 300 with my bored out XR.
Have a good time.
And have a good time. Like I can't keep up with him in the straights, obviously, but like single track, tight stuff, I can hang right behind him.
I think it's like, hey man, just have a good time on two wheels, doesn't matter. But I think like, I don't know, man. Have all the surgeries and injuries, it just seems like the bikes have, it used to be racing 125s and 250s. Okay, but then once the 450s came out, injuries definitely felt like in our world, especially in the moto scene, got a little bit gnarlier.
Well, yeah.
And, our gaps and jumps have gotten bigger and shit has got a little more. And
you can tractor into stuff more on a 450 than you can on a 252.
250 took a little more finesse.
Yeah.
You had to rail the outsides if you want to do big sections or if you need momentum. Don't get, I'm no expert. I don't want to claim to be a fucking expert, dude. Trust me.
You raced what, semi-pro or pro?
Just fucking local shit, dude. I'm not fucking. Trust me, I'm the bottom of the barrel compared to the the hardcore OG local guys out in the valley. There's some serious players. There's the guy that I grew up with, JRVL, and he's a little bit younger than me, not much, and he's still racing local pro stuff, like racing nationals, and still out there always riding. Just I don't know how he does it. I think he's a steel worker. So he's not like he's not like an insurance salesman during the day and like not using his body. He's out there. And he's always posting shit on Instagram. If there's no race or practice going on, he's at the dunes just doing turn tracks and shit.
That's awesome.
For every one of those, there's like way more doing it too. Like especially not in the Northwest where the weather sucks in the wintertime, but like, you have your SoCal guys that can ride almost all year round.
Yeah.
So it's, but like Chris Kiefer's a great example. If you're a moto guy, like you look at that guy's age, he really preaches like staying healthy, eating right. If you want to keep your back straight, do these things.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a truck podcast, so we got to move on.
On that note, though, before moving on, have you watched Dust to Glory 2?
Yes.
Dust to Glory, where I forget the name of the dude, but he's like big in the motorcycle community, but a lot of like street bike stuff. Did like Pikes Peak, got first in Pikes Peak stuff for a lot, and he was told, and I'm just really bad with names. Same with actors, it doesn't matter. But he was going down to do the Baja 1000, and he was told which guy to watch out for that's the fastest. And so he gets down there and he's looking around, like trying to figure out who this guy is. And it's this kid that's like 21 years old, riding a like 1980s KX 500 that's totally dialed. and won the last Ironman, Baja 1000. Not just
Maybe I
at
didn't
this
see
time.
This doesn't ring a bell.
And they interview him and they're like, so like, what's your workout routine? He's like, I don't have one. I work from 4 a.m. until whatever. He's a heavy equipment mechanic. He's like, and I just ride.
How awesome is that?
And he's riding an old KX 500 2-stroke. And the guy's like, I didn't realize that my competition was riding a bike that's older than he is. Like just wild.
So we've been starting to ride, like, I've been starting to ride off-road. I'm switching from moto to off-road just because of my age. I love off-road. I didn't realize how much I liked it. So I'm starting to make that switch, doing less moto, more off-road shit. And so out there out of Philomath, there's this private area that you get to ride if you do a work party. And it's not very public, but it's an amazing area. Been out there for like since 1970. All single track. Anyway, I'm a moto snob. Like that's how we grew up, right? Your gear should all match. Your fucking shit looks dialed. Well, in the off-road world, it's not so much
It's
that,
not
right?
that, yeah.
So we show up, my buddy and I, that we both race about the same time. And so our shit's dialed, like our like matching, like our gear is like legit, like it's a moto thing. And we're out there and there's some gnarly single track it's a fucking pretty badass. And so there's some hill climbs and shit and some sketchy route sections, rock sections that would eat a lot of people up. And so it was kind of a greasy day and we're there and we're way out in the middle of nowhere. In fact, none of the trails are marked. I use my Onyx to get back to the truck. I have no idea where I'm at all times. This is out in the mountains of Philomath, LC area. So it's pretty steep. And these guys come around the corner. We're sitting there. I mean, just bullshitting. These guys come around the corner. They're riding like clapped out, I would say like early 2000s Hondas. They're wearing muck boots, rain pants.
Yeah.
They look like 300 pounds, give or take, and like wearing like work gloves, some $150 helmet, and just rail the shit out of this corner and just this gnarly hill climb and just take off. We're like, that was pretty badass, dude. These guys have zero fucks for like, hey, check out my shit. Look at what I just bought or anything like that. And I think I kind of have a little more, like, I'm like, okay, that's pretty kick ass, like.
That's what I like about the off-road stuff.
I mean, they didn't sit down, dude. We stand up. Like, we've been in moto, you're always standing up, right? So off-road, I'm always standing up. These guys sat on the seat 90% of what I saw for like 100 yards. I'm watching them. Not even getting off onto the pegs, dude. Just sit on the seat. It was comical. And they just killed it. And I was talking to a local that's always up there and goes, oh, yeah, that's such and such. They've been living up here forever. They just own this place. They just dominate it. They go out there, it doesn't matter the weather conditions. They just have a good time. I'm like,
just send it.
Which is like awesome, right? And I'm like,
yeah,
fuck yeah, that's badass, dude.
And I love that mentality and that like
no ego, no bullshit.
And you don't have to have a ton of money.
No.
You don't have to have the fanciest bike or the fanciest gear. Like
correct.
You just have a bike and you go out and ride.
Hence kind of like our truck show.
Yes.
Because you don't have to have a fancy bro truck. It doesn't have to be like some one-off thing, or
you don't have to have your boomer board, as Jack would say.
A boomer board. You don't have to. That's a good one. You don't have to like look at my pristine OG vehicle. It has never been touched. You can show up in a shit box, which
with a hood stack.
With a hood. Well, hey, we'll stop there. But I did like the bullnose. Was it last year that was really rough? It had a dirt bike of the same era in the back that was really rough.
Yes.
It had trash in there too. There was like garbage in the back of it. And I'm like, this guy, fuck, that guy wins it right there. That is it right there.
Speaking of bullnoses in the truck show, did you know that the Wally 6'9" IDI guy is coming to the show?
The one that's like been doing all the suspension shit?
Yeah.
That guy's coming?
He's coming.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I've been chatting with him.
Real? Where's he out of?
San Diego.
He's
got it. It sounds like he's making a trip like up to Wyoming first. And then driving over. So him and I have been talking and I was like, dude, if you're coming through Bend, you're welcome to stop by the shop and like.
That's a very cool truck.
Oh my gosh.
The canopy on the back.
Oh, it just
ties it all together.
Makes it. It is so good.
I like how it's not even a period correct canopy. It's like a dent side, bump side era.
Yeah, it's old school.
But it works.
This truck right here, if anybody's watching the video, so this is like a single cab, long box, bullnose,
F250.
F250.
IDI, right?
IDI, 6.9 IDI. It's the two-tone, so it's the light brown
And
tan on top with the dark brown center.
Which is, you saw that color combo so often in those years.
So often. And it's got the dog dish wheels, like all OG. But then you start looking at like the suspension, and it's Beam Team for sure, with coilovers, bypasses. Everything's made of 4130 chromoly. It's all ARP stainless hardware. He even had his radius arms, nickel plated.
What?
Yes.
For strength?
I think for looks.
Okay. I'm just wondering, like.
Yeah, it is.
So whose kit is it? Did he make kind of like a hodgepodge?
Yeah, he used some of Solo's parts.
Who did the towers? Is that his own?
I think so.
Okay.
He builds trophy trucks for a living.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I love how you're just taking pulls off the Dayquil bottle as you get.
So if you guys haven't realized, this is part 2 of part 1, where I was kind of getting over a cold. So
a what?
A cold. A cold, yeah. So I didn't. If you're just tuning in, it's not like I just fucking took up smoking. I'd love to just take up like a pack a day. That'd be awesome. Lisa would really find that awesome. But anyway, my go-to, John's obviously drinking the Rainier shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your go-to. I'm switching up. I'm doing Dayquil and Angel's Envy with a splash of water. It's a new trend, boys and girls. So check it out.
It's good cold medicine. But
so anyway,
this is his Sterling 10.25 rear end that he did that badass truss where the diff cover.
Yes.
Bolts.
Did he make that himself?
Yes.
I think we talked about this.
We
talked about this on another podcast.
Yeah, I think with JP.
Yes.
It's just too good not to look at.
So this guy's coming to the show.
Yeah, he's coming to the show.
So I better not shut the show down early.
Don't shut it down, man.
Okay, this could be the last year.
Is it?
I don't know.
All right.
You never know. So
I would be okay with
taking a year off. It's stressful for John. I hope you guys know that.
It's not stressful.
It is too. It's stressful.
Though, if I don't have the Duramax truck there this year, which I'm going to try, but if I don't, it would be ready for next.
Then we'll do next year.
I need to get a transmission.
That's on you. Anyway, so this thing's cool. So this guy's going to be at the truck show. That's pretty cool. We're bringing I see Tim with his new truck house.
Oh my gosh. What a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, he even
shows what a class act he is, though, not to roast the people he bought the truck from.
You know, that's true.
I would say that shows what a class act human that guy is.
To the point where he asked people to stop, like, hitting them up.
Yes.
With negative comments.
So if you guys don't know who Tim is.
Truck House Life.
He is an amazing human, 100%. Nicest guy ever. I think he's a teacher by trade. Is that right?
I think he used to be.
Now he's just doing the YouTube thing for his income?
I have a feeling he makes good.
Well, he makes good enough money that I guarantee that truck was not cheap that he bought.
$47,000.
How many miles are on it?
I don't know. I just have read, because people were following it, from the beginning. And basically the story is he bought this truck from a fairly well-known.
Yes. If you're into the OBS game, I guarantee you follow this vendor of clean, or supposedly clean OBS Fords.
Yes, and they have a tendency to take and polish a turd to a certain degree that has low miles, looks good. They put a cheapo garbage lift on them. They shine them up. They spray them with all their detailer shit. And
supposedly, we have seen, we may or may not have a truck that a customer bought from them in the shop.
Right.
Yes.
So they don't really make sure that anything is like mechanically dialed.
Doesn't
they just
sound
make
like
them look good. Yeah.
Our lawyers have made us sign a thing where we don't just say we're experts on it. We're just gonna say that's what it sounds like.
Yes, that is what it sounds like. We are not experts on that.
No.
But yeah, so he's had, quite the story, which honestly, I would guess that he looks at it as a blessing in disguise, because if that trip from that seller back to Alaska went flawlessly, there wouldn't be as much YouTube content.
That's true. I guess I never thought about that.
That's a content making machine, even though it sucks.
And I think people really try to stay off the fucking Instagram and shit, but it's really hard not to some days, especially like this. His comments were never negative.
No.
He was always positive. He never bashed, like we said, never bashed the seller. And like you said, he actually went on there and kind of said, "Hey man, quit."
Like they took care of it
Eventually, but like some people said, if that was just Joe Blow consumer, a lot of people go, "Yeah, there's no way they're doing that." It's only because he has a big platform,
right.
Which a lot of people called that out, which is true.
It's accurate.
100%.
They're not wrong.
No, but if that was Joe Blow, which we have experienced per the customer that's got a truck from them in our shop, we experienced that. He experienced that hardcore from these people.
Where they were like, sorry.
Pound sand. Which is pretty. But at some point, you're buying a used vehicle. You have to assume some responsibility. Did you get a pre-purchase inspection? You know, like if you're if you're spending that much money, a pre-purchase inspection from an outside source, I highly recommend that.
And to tie this into something else, like if somebody wanted to buy the cowboy truck,
I'd want them to get a pre-purchase inspection.
For sure.
100%.
But that's a truck that that every single thing has been dialed in.
I mean, maybe I missed something. I don't know, but I'd rather like go, hey, take it to someone, a reputable shop. I don't want them hood ratting it around though. That's one thing. But like, have them give it a look over and see what they say. Like, don't take my word for it.
But at the same time, like what you're asking for it is fair. And when you like, that is an example of like, that's not a truck that's just been shined up to sell.
Yeah.
That's a truck that was put together to be the ultimate.
I would say, I hate it when Kenny says that, the ultimate tow rig. I'm like, dude, don't fucking say that shit.
Well,
it's just like, hey,
here's what you at the time. I remember when you started putting that thing together, you're like, this is going to be my off-road camping truck.
Yeah, that didn't last very long, did it?
That didn't ever happen.
No.
I've never seen you take it camping.
No. Fuck
no. You still haven't?
No. No, you want to know why? Because I got into it, and I'm like, I wasn't even going to paint it. I was going to wrap it. I was just going to just half-ass it. And I'm like, dude, once I got into it, I'm like, let's just see what we could do with the 7.3. Like, I like kind of found this. I didn't tell Lisa, but I was like, you know what? Like, we're going to do this. Let's do it right. I don't want to half-ass it. And I don't want to I want to see if you can make a 7.3 look good under the hood. Like, strip down the wiring harness. Move the glow plug controller out of the way. Like, that kind of shit. And then it's like, that just snowballed. It's like, we're going to do that. Then,
everything you do snowballs.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. The blue truck? What was the initial game plan?
Just a simple suspension lift and motor upgrade.
Just a simple suspension lift and motor upgrade.
Yeah. And next thing you know, it's being totally blown apart down to the frame and powder coated. And anyway, but no, I think that, for me, in my brain, a little bit different, but back to this. Yes. Pre-purchase inspections. I don't care if you're like a master mechanic and you've worked on it all, done all this shit. I always feel like a second pair of eyes on something.
100%.
Because when so I was talking to a good friend of my dad's that I grew up with his kids, and he always comes in and talks to me about trucks. He's flipped and bought OBSs for years, and I was telling him like, hey Bob, you ever notice when you wash a vehicle, you find more shit than when you go look at them? So you go buy let's say I go buy an OBS for it, right? Like that crew cab short bed that I bought months ago. Like you wash it, you're like, oh, I didn't notice this.
Oh yeah, because you're like hand wiping it down.
So this guy who's I think Bob's probably almost getting close to 70, has made a side hustle of flipping vehicles before that was a thing. And he goes, yeah, Devin, one time I went to go look at a OBS and I asked the guy, hey, can I wash your truck? And I'm like, no, you did. He goes, yeah, dude. I went and I literally go, hey, before I buy this truck, are you cool with me washing it? And the owner that owned it at the time was like, I guess so. He goes, no, I just want to wash it. If you don't want me to buy it, or if I don't, I'll just wash it regardless of me buying it or not. And the guy's like, okay. So he fucking washed this guy's truck to find all the dents and blemishes and stuff. And he goes, yep, truck turned out to be awesome. I washed it and I drove it home.
That, if somebody showed up to buy a car from me and asked if they could do that, it'd be like, here's all the supplies.
Have fun.
Like, here's my thing. Don't scrub the wheels and tires until the end. Just little details. Here's what I would do. But yeah, you wash it inside and out all you want.
When you go look at a vehicle, regardless of it being new or old, like you miss so much because of the wow factor.
Yeah.
Like,
because it's exciting, and if
Yeah.
you're looking at it, it's typically something you want to buy.
you almost want to like go look at it twice. I want to see it the first time, then when I go home and sleep on it, then I'll come back and look at it again.
Yeah.
But in this world of marketplace in the wild, wild west,
You don't have that option.
no. And you buy
especially if it's a good, like if it's a good deal and it's a sweet truck, like you know that there's a line of people behind you, and you're lucky that that guy hasn't taken a higher offer than what
Right.
you've already given him.
And it always sucks that you the next day you're like, I didn't notice that, damn it, or
Yeah.
shit, I didn't notice that. So yeah, I 100% agree. Like he said, yeah, I just washed the guy's truck so I could see all the dents and flaws, and I'm like, what a great idea.
It's that's I've never heard that before, but
You just
that's
bring your own like chemical
fantastic.
guy's bucket with wash stuff. Like, you have a garden hose? I'm just going to look at your truck and wash at the same time.
And then you know the guy's serious when he's like, no, use my hose that, is for hard water, and it takes out all of the,
Is there a
hard water.
is there a hose that does that?
Oh yeah. Well, you can get a filtration system so that,
So you don't have to worry about it.
yeah, because hard water has a tendency to leave water spots a lot.
Yes, it
easier.
does. Yes, it's harsh.
Yeah, we looked at doing that at the fire station, and it was just not worth it because for one,
Dude,
when
you
you
have to-
wash a rig every 48 hours and they're like, and we want it to be shiny. I'm like, well, then you can't wash it every 48 hours.
So no, yeah, you can. You just have to polish it every other.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, this
See,
is
that's
just...
job security, so you guys actually have something to do.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not rescuing cats out of a tree, you should be washing and polishing something.
I have used $1 million ladder truck to get cats out of a tree.
No, you haven't. Is that a fucking thing?
100%
No way.
have. Yes.
This day and age, people still do that shit.
Yeah.
They literally fucking called to tell you their cat is stuck up a tree.
Yeah, and it's been there for a couple days, and they asked and we've also, one time, I wasn't on this call, I was on a different one, but this one, the cat was pregnant and diabetic.
There's other cats out there, people.
Yeah. But no, I've legit taken, been the engineer, driven the ladder truck, set it all up, 75-foot quint, and
Rescued a cat.
rescued a cat.
People do realize cats go up the tree, they can go down it.
Yeah, it's hard as a public servant, as they say, or
Sure.
whatever, to say, it'll come down eventually.
That should be a flyer you hand out
Yeah.
as you pull up. You're like, statistics and science say it'll come down eventually. Here's the data report.
Yeah. One fun thing to tell people is how many times have you looked up and seen a dead cat in a tree?
Never.
Never. Eventually they get hungry. And they got themselves up there. Cats are
That's enabling a society right there. It started back in the 40s. Some asshole's like, hey, Bob, there's a cat up in a tree. We need to go rescue it. When is that a procedure? I don't know. We're going to do it. And it set the standard ever since then.
Oh, there's documentation on how the emergency medical system has made people more
Soft?
soft.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to call 911 and get help immediately.
Quick, 911. I'm from out of state. I'm like, I took a bunch of gummies because I didn't know weed's legal here. And
Yeah.
now I am ripped out of my mind. And
Or
what do I do?
down to the simplest thing of my back hurts. And I've called 911 before, and they just give me some pain meds and take me to the hospital, and I'm quote unquote first in line.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah. I've had that conversation with people numerous times
you must
where
have
they're like, well, if I go in the ambulance, I won't have to wait in the waiting room. And then I explain no, you will still have to wait in the waiting room.
Right.
If the ER is busy, if somebody's dying in the waiting room, just
Right.
because you came by ambulance because your back hurts doesn't mean you're not going to get wheelchaired out to the waiting room to sit there for hours.
What a selfish ideology.
Yeah. Well, when you work in a community full of
Sure.
very wealthy people,
Yeah. They say ambulance ride's not cheap.
No, they're not at all. What's even less cheap is a helicopter ride.
Oh, well, that's why we have lifeline insurance.
Yeah, you definitely have to have that.
Okay, well, let's move on. We got to do some truck shit here. We're going to get deep shit with our listeners at some point. Go to Instagram real quick.
Instagram,
OBS Solutions. Kenny posted something funny.
Are we back?
I guess we're back.
All right. Sorry about that break. I had an important phone call from my wife.
Yeah, you don't want to miss those phone calls.
No, you don't.
Okay, there you go. Look at Shane double pegging a bed. Like,
oh, nice. Dude, that is so sweet.
let's play that again. Let's see that again.
So, video is of Devin's son, Shane.
My oldest, who works at the shop. Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Just pegging, like, on...
double pegging his BMX bike on an OBS bed with no helmet on. God.
He is of that age, though, where that's cool. Was he wearing a helmet when we were snowboarding?
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. Waist behind. Like, I look at Randy Schmidt. Okay, so Schmidt's for 32. That's a friend of mine that I still ride with today. Amazing rider. But
the kid showing his old man what a Ford is good for. Wise beyond his years.
That's brutal. That's fucking brutal.
Dude, your kid rips.
And he's in work boots. Oh, he's an amazing rider. He would have done awesome on the moto scene. He would have killed.
He'd do awesome on anything. With
he's so talented. Dude, it's just frustrating because he could have been good at baseball. He's got a hell of an arm. He just doesn't he doesn't care. He's like wants to ride his BMX bike. That's all he cares about is BMX and now snowboarding. But yeah, it's awesome. But back to what we were talking about. What were we talking about? Shit. Sorry, Colin. You're gonna edit this thing. Go, you idiots.
It'll be all right. We'll figure it out.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's hit some questions. We have some of those.
Yeah, I think we got some comments.
We better do that.
By the way,
yes.
I don't know if this is something we're supposed to look at like on the podcast or not, but I will say that if you look at this chart, since we've been doing it for the last 90 days,
okay,
you can see like the steady growth.
Okay.
The podcast is like actually starting to get some.
Well, I didn't tell you this, but I'm paying people to listen.
Oh, you are?
I am.
We had somebody that I've followed for a while. I think her name is Selena Simon. Okay. She's got a decent amount of followers.
Oh, 24.6. The brick nose. It's got some interesting suspension setup.
Yeah, and she did a power stroke swap in it. Big into the truck scene. And she had posted like they were on some road trip to go pick up something on Marketplace, and she was listening to our podcast.
Oh, well, thank you.
Check her out. It's Selena Simon on Instagram. She's got a pretty sweet brick nose.
It's an interesting setup on the suspension. It's like true crossover. Do you notice that?
Oh, yeah.
And I can't tell.
I think it's like a homebrew deal. I don't know for sure.
But like, hey, Selena, I love the
fact. Which I'm not dogging on.
No, I love the fact that you're on welds. Go back to the first picture real quick.
Yeah, the welds.
No, right. Keep going down. You were just on it. That picture you did. What hub? Yeah, right there. Click on that again. What hub is that? Ooh, hard to say what axle that is. That definitely okay. So unless it's on spacers,
that's a
60 looks like, doesn't it?
That's a 60.
Yeah.
That's not an 05 plus.
No, so they're but the suspension's kind of, I love true crossover.
Yeah, I do too.
That is, you don't see that very often because everyone just goes big lift and steers like shit. Well, true crossover like helps out a ton with that.
Yeah, and her dad's got a pretty sweet Firebird that she drives around.
That is a very cool brick nose.
Dude, it's really nice. Under the hood, it's very sanitary. I'm not a fan of the battery mount setup and deleting the AC. But it's not my truck.
That's an interesting one, to delete the AC and then turn the battery like that. The axle setup, like, that's pretty kick-ass looking.
Yeah. No, it's not bad.
So you're talking true high steer with machine knuckles.
Yep.
And
that's a Kingpin 60.
That's what I was just going to say. It's Kingpinned.
Yeah.
Which you don't have to machine the knuckle for that.
And look at how much more room you have on the driver's side axle tube.
Yeah, why couldn't they do that? Fuck, look at that.
It's so much better.
Like, all you have to do is move the differential over like 4 inches.
Yeah.
And your driveline would be, I wonder if they did that because of crossmember. Contacting driveline in a serious,
ball joint knuckles too are just a lot bigger.
On the newer trucks?
Yeah.
Yes. That's a good looking suspension setup. Look, at one point
still has the reverse shackle bar on there.
A lot of people leave that on there so the frame horns don't lie open.
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny, this brick nose is cooler than yours. Yeah. Have you noted that? Note that. This thing's pretty cool. They didn't do it on a budget.
And Selena, thank you for listening to the podcast.
Yeah, Selena. I hope that maybe one day we get to see this truck at our truck show. It'd probably go over quite well. I wonder where she's at.
Wisconsin.
That's a rip.
But I've seen her and her boyfriend or husband. They are both big into the truck stuff and got some new trailer.
So they have a trailer that you could haul it.
Yeah, they could haul it.
We'd love to have that truck at our truck show. Yep, there you go.
Bingo.
He's got a first or second gen.
Dude, his second gen is really clean.
I love people that dabble in all different manufacturers' trucks.
I do too.
And like actually like I kind of enjoy that. They're like, oh, it's just strictly Ford or strictly Chevy. Because like you at least have some foresight to go, there's some extra manufacturers that make some cool shit other than what you're right.
It's like we were talking about second gen Dodges with JP the other day.
Yes, and like there's some cool Dodges out there.
There's some cool Dodges. There's some cool Chevys. Like,
yes.
I really like them all. Like we were the last episode looking at that GMC.
Yeah, the lower of Ryan Sackett's. Yeah, this is Slam.
Well, that one, but also that single cab.
Yes.
96.
The 96 1500 short ride. That thing's
those
sick looking.
Things are
all stock.
So cool.
You
gotta have multiple tastes.
That's why we call it a Truckery podcast, because we love all, like, there's so many different genres and body styles and, trucks that we love. Yeah.
I was just talking about this with, so one of my customers, the red truck that we did?
Yeah.
It was back in, AC compressor was leaking really bad, like PAG oil dripping off the engine cross member.
Oh.
So it came back for that, and, we dialed it in, and he came and picked it up, and he's like, yeah, so, and it doesn't have a hitch. So he's talking about wanting a tow hitch installed because he wants to be able to tow his Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a super rare, like one of two in the U.S. wide body, air-cooled 80s 911
Is
Porsche.
it pulled with an OBS Ford?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
But his taste in cars, like he loves his OBS Ford. He loves his air-cooled Porsche. He has a Toyota Corolla all-track wagon that's like, like 90s.
This guy local guy?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's on like period correct MR2 wheels. He's got an FJ62 Land Cruiser that's fully restored. And like, he just has, like, he loves all of these different genres of vehicles. And I appreciate that sort of vibe, that, like, yeah, I like this truck a lot and want to have it super nice, but I also like this and I also like this. And like, it's fun. And even if it's just trucks, if you're just into like Fords, Chevys, and Dodges, it's still cool to see like the appreciation for the taste in different brands and different things.
I think that's funny because we've started this out as being OBS only things. And then we start talking. We're like, well, I kind of also like Chevys from the 90s. You do too? You're like, yeah. Like, I kind of also like some of these Dodges. No shit. You as well. Yeah. You're like, well, okay. Well,
I also like mini trucks.
Oh, hell yeah. Mini trucks all day long. 92 S10s or the 98 S10s. Or,
first gen Toyotas.
Dude, fucking hard body Nissans in the weeds. Like, dude, fucking all day long. Like, cause let's fucking bullshit about this.
And that's how it became the Truckery podcast.
Yeah, because like, I feel like if you're just stuck on one manufacturer, you're going to miss. There's a lot of other cool shit out there. And also, I hate to say this, people, but if you're just like, I only like this brand, you might be a little fucking ignorant and missing some cool shit out there. There's some other cool shit that's pretty rowdy.
And if you just say, I only like trucks and I don't like cars, you might be just a little ignorant.
Nah, fuck that. Car suck. Fuck that.
I thought I got you.
You know what? I'm an ignorant fuck. Here we go. I will say it. I'm ignorant when it comes to cars, I guess. Except for Fox body Mustangs.
I want a Fox body.
I got a soft spot for that. One day I'll own one.
When we talked about going to that drift event, my buddy had a like supercharged 302 Fox body that was more like drag car before that, and I asked him like, are there anybody that
I was gonna say
that build Fox body drift cars? He's like, oh yeah, there's some pretty rowdy Fox bodies.
I'd hate to put a Fox body into the wall though.
I know,
like a Mazda or like one of those cars. Like, okay, not a big deal. But a Fox body, but yet Fox body prices, I'm not seeing them go through the roof like an OBS Ford yet.
I think the notchbacks are starting to. I don't know.
So
I want a notch.
We hired a new service writer at the shop, or Will did. Super nice guy. And I found out he's a big Fox body guy. He has one that's like a 347 stroker or something like that.
No way.
Yes. And I'm like, Brian, I heard you're like a Fox body guy. He goes, oh yeah. He's like really nonchalant. Oh yeah, I got this like it's like supercharged and it's a 347 stroker. And I'm like,
what?
Fucking serious?
And you haven't seen it yet?
No. I'm like, you haven't fucking like you haven't even drove it in yet. He goes, oh no, the weather's been kind of shitty. And I'm like,
so he's a man of taste.
he is, yeah. And I'm like, and it's white. And I'm like, fucking drive that thing in, dude. I gotta see this thing. I do not need another vehicle in my life, but this might prompt me to sell cowboy, get
a Fox
body. And
yes,
I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know. Fox bodies for me, maybe it's because back in the day when I was growing up, it's like we always talk about like there's a time and a place where you're young and you see a vehicle and you're like a square body Chev. I still remember when I see my first square body Chev lifted. I'm like, that is so cool.
Oh yeah.
Or my first OBS Ford was white. I remember doing service work at my dad's shop, and we worked on the state police cars, and they had a Pursuit Fox body Mustang. That was a Pursuit car. It was a notchback, and it had an internal cage. And I remember having to drive it from the shop to the police station to drop it off. And I'm like, this is the coolest car.
Really?
Yeah. And then they had an IROC Camaro.
Oh yeah.
And it was
like a Z28.
Yep, it was sick, dude. White, and it was unmarked, and it had an internal cage, had a shotgun right there in the cage.
Yeah,
I'm like,
mounted in the center.
I'm like, so I've always been a sucker for those. Like I always call them the trailer trash Camaros and the Fox body Mustangs.
Both of those cars. I don't know why, but they do come off a little bit as like your trailer trash.
I'm okay. Like at this point in my life, dude, I told Lisa, like, who am I trying to impress people?
No,
dude, the trailer trash. I want to embrace the trailer trash. I almost want to like buy a single wide and start living in it, and like put some pink flamingos out. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dime a dozen. Anyway.
Wait, so on the Mustang topic,
yeah.
I don't know if I've asked you this before. Are you fastback or notchback?
You know, I used to be fastback only. And then Kenny like started putting this bug in my ear about notchbacks. And so I'm like, okay, notchbacks are right. But now it's a 50-50. If I found one.
Really?
Yeah, I think notchbacks look pretty sick. But then I think fastbacks look pretty good too.
Yeah, there's some good looking fastbacks, but I would pick a notch.
Still wouldn't do a convertible ever though.
No I don't like convertible car. I don't like convertible anything.
No.
Actually, no, I take that back. There might be like an Impala, you know, like a hydraulic Impala.
Yeah. Like Boys in the Hood style Impala.
Yeah,
yes, okay.
Yeah, that would be cool in a convertible.
That'd be the only convertible.
Yeah. Maybe not the only, but like a 911, I would never buy a 911 convertible.
No.
I would never buy.
I feel like sports cars should never be convertibles.
No, because the integrity of the car, a lot of it is in the roof.
Well, then they have to beef up the front windshield as a safety device, and it looks beefy and nasty.
Yeah.
Doesn't look
just
cool.
Not a convertible guy unless it's like a low and slow, like we're cruising.
Yes, I don't like mini trucks convertible either.
No.
You see people do that and shit. It doesn't look good.
I'm not a fan.
You know what I was thinking though? I really want, if I could find a 40 Econoline the right length and paint it up as the A-Team van.
Oh, yeah. But wasn't that a Dodge?
No, I think it was a Chevy.
The A-Team van?
I want to say it's a Chevrolet. But I want to do an A-Team OBS Solutions, call it the B-Team.
You're right.
It's a Chevy.
Oh, you want to do a Ford and call it the B-Team?
Yeah, I want Ricky to dress up as BA.
Yeah.
I want to be Hannibal.
Okay.
Oscar could be Kenny could be Face Man.
Yeah.
And Oscar could be Murdoch. He's skinny like Murdoch.
Dude.
That'd be sick, wouldn't it? And we buy a van, we have it half-ass painted with a stripe on the side.
And OBS Solutions, and then it says free OBS Ford parts inside.
You know what I thought? I thought about finding an old Econoline right before the truck show. Like just a nasty, meth-den looking Econoline, and then spray painting free welds inside.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, just as a joke kind of thing.
Yeah. No, that would be great.
That'd be awesome. Anyway.
Dude, speaking of Econolines and truck show, that one that showed up, we've talked about it on the podcast before, but it's another 6.9 IDI.
That thing was cool.
5-speed with like beams, 4-wheel drive in the front. Like this.
That was a buddy of Greg's.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a buddy of Greg, and I think it was a buddy of Greg's. And I think he was a Southern Cal guy too. I remember like, hey, is it okay if I bring an Econoline to your truck show? And I'm like, send us a picture. And I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, that has to show up 100%. Yeah.
It was the only one there.
I'm cool with Econolines being at the show, like 4-wheel drive Econolines.
Oh yeah.
But should they have to be? It should have to be in the 87. Actually, no. Sorry, 80s to 97 era Econolines.
Right.
Has to be like those years. Can't be 2000s.
So is my excursion allowed?
No.
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 Well,
sorry.
it's going to be there.
Well, it could be there. It can't be just be inside.
Can't be inside.
No, it has to be. It has to be.
Can it be in my camp spot?
Yeah, that's not. That's it. That's not inside the show.
Okay.
It could be in your camp spot, but it can't be. It can't be in.
It can't be in my booth.
Correct.
Not at all.
No.
Cool.
Like, dude, that's the rules. We have the rules.
I was just pushing to see what you were going to say.
I'm a man of holding against my rules.
I knew that was the case.
Yeah, like we were like I think.
But that's the reason why it's the last year for me.
The last year, yes. After this, no more truck show.
I don't know if I can do it if I can't bring my excursion.
Well, you'll have to figure it out, bud. Maybe you'll find an excursion only show.
Oh, maybe I'll start one. And I'll have it the same weekend as yours.
Listen, motherfuckers, we're doing 99 to 04 Ford Super Dudes and excursions only.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of crowd that would be.
Probably a cool crowd.
Yeah.
Dude, we were leaving to go up to the mountain and going through Albany. I saw an 85 F-250 long bed single cab, and it had like 30-inch wheels. It was tooted. No. It was squatted.
30?
It was like 30-inch wheels, dude. It was fucking... Yeah,
is that 85? Is that a brick nose or a bull nose?
It's a bull nose. It's a bull nose.
Okay.
Had a cool patina on it. It like...
What color?
Bluish color.
Oh, okay.
Being colorblind, it probably was black, but it looked to me like blue, patinaed out, and it had like these, and maybe not 30s, maybe like 26s. I don't know what you kids are into these days, number wise, but squatted like it just came out of Florida. I don't know how it could turn because there wasn't even enough tire clearance in the front for whatever rubber bands that were on it to miss the bumper and the fender. Like, so if he went to a parking lot, he'd been doing the Austin Powers turn.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, Lisa. I think we're in yee country. It's like, it's coming to us. Like, I was worried about Portland moving into Albany and tainting our like hillbilly redneck status, but this guy is like going total yee, bringing that dynamic here to the valley. I'm like, I can't, this is not acceptable. It's like, it's not, it's just one. So then we're coming over 58, going to the house, and here comes a newer Chevrolet, and he's on 14 wide, like old school welds. Sorry about that. Old school welds, boggers, and he had spacers so stacked out that there was no tire. This is not bullshit. At least he even saw it. There was no tire in the fender well on 14 wides.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, what is happening to our dynamics here in the valley? Like,
it's happening.
It is. And I was like, that's probably the most unsafe thing I've seen in a long time. Like double stack spacers on a 14 wide.
I do wonder.
I'm like, the stress on the ball joints and the hub.
And the wheel bearings.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. The hub bearings had to be just like just getting ready to let go. It was wide enough. I bet the tire was it was easily a 14-inch wide old school weld, right? Which I'm all for, 100%.
Totally.
Badass.
Yeah.
On a stretched out bogger. Like they stretch the shit out, like Hawaiian style.
I like that.
I mean, like, okay, I
the
get that.
Hawaii style trucks are pretty cool.
Yes, but when you're stacking spacers,
mm-hmm.
That's when it gets sketchy.
I would like to do the math, like just the calculation on how much force you're adding to your ball joints and your hubs and wheel bearings when you do that.
I know Ron was talking about, because Ron's big into side-by-sides, what a portal, when they put portals on side-by-sides,
right?
What that does, that leverage just to the ball joints on something that simple and that light. I couldn't imagine something that much weight being, and this was a half ton, so it wasn't a diesel. It probably didn't have as much weight in the front, but still.
But it's also got half ton ball joints and half
ton
wheel bearings.
Correct. You're right. That's a good point. And I'm like, I almost want to turn around and follow him just to see what we're going to see. This probably let go going through Oak Ridge or something, you know?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I had to drive like shit. I mean, trust me, I'm all for lifting shit to the moon of big tires and wheels, 40s and stuff like that all day long. But you're driving your characteristics and driving habits, like driving, it gets goofy. I couldn't imagine even at that.
Oh yeah, no, it really does, and that's like, there's one thing where it looks cool just sitting there,
yeah,
but then driving it, and that's like, not to keep bringing it back to this, but when I went to that drift day with my buddy Dustin, you know, we towed, like, he's got a race car trailer and everything. So towed the car there driving home, and driving back to his house. There's like we see a Nissan 240 that's set up like a drift car,
driving
like low slung, you know, wheels all the way out, like just
stanced out, they call it.
Oh yeah, fully stanced. It looked great, fantastic. But driving on the road, I'm like sitting there in his nice, you know, 3500 Dodge crew cab long bed dually Cummins, like that car looks absolutely miserable to drive on the street.
And it probably wear tires like no one's business.
Yeah. Well, and like you have to watch out for like any bump in the road. Colin's going to be listening to this, and like, because
he'll understand it.
His Audi, dude, Colin was the king of like static drop cars. Like static drop with like that much room off of the ground.
I'd be more stressed out driving that than anything. You'd worry about rocks or debris or potholes or...
Yeah. Yeah. He's all about it. And
you have to pay attention to take the fun out of driving.
Yeah, to a certain degree, but also I don't know if you would appreciate it, but his Audi V8 is gorgeous.
I bet. I saw pictures of it on his Instagram.
It's a rare car. It's Lago blue. It is, and it's static drop low. And I was always like, dude, why don't you put bags in it? And
so, I like static drop. I'm a static.
You're a static drop guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a bag guy. I like bags.
I like the static drop. You know what you get. It's always consistent. But
one of these days, I will have a bagged vehicle that is like full air.
Hey, maybe it can be excursion and take to your excursion only show.
No, it's going to be a car or a truck. Well, it could be, I guess that didn't narrow it down any. It's going to be either like an Audi, I don't know, maybe Mercedes or BMW, or a single cab short bed Ford.
How about I
OBS,
sell you that,
or a 67 through 72 C10.
Oh, C10 stuff. How about I sell you that bullnose that I bought from Enrique? It's already patinaed.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it afterwards.
We'll talk about it. I want the green one though.
So does everyone. So does Shane. Everyone wants the green truck, but I don't know.
How come all of a sudden when the green truck's blown up and I'm like, hey man, can I get that off your hands? All of a sudden everybody wants the green truck.
Kenny's been wanting it.
It's the marketing person in you.
Dude, Kenny's been wanting that fucking green truck.
Yeah, but Kenny has too many projects.
He does. He has too many. And then Shane's like, Dad.
And Kenny's already side rodded me once.
100%. So Kenny does not get it.
Kenny
can
I
suck
called
it.
Dibs on that.
Well, then you got to fight for Shane for it because Shane's like, $5,000, take that truck, Dad. Like,
I won't fight Shane for it. Shane.
I think we got to.
I like Kenny too. I'm not. That was not. I'll fight Kenny for it though because he's an adult. Shane's your kid. And,
dude, it's funny.
I love hanging out with him.
Everyone's like, how much you for that green truck? I'm like, dude, I can't let the green truck go. And I got a motor already inbound for it. So
I know. I wish that wouldn't have happened.
Well, maybe we'll put it in that bullnose, but the bullnose needs a ton
That's what I'm
of work.
saying.
I kind of like the look of the bullnose better. Bullnose trucks look good. Anyway, let's move on. Let's hit the marketplace.
Let's hit the marketplace.
Let's do that. And let's pick a state other than the Valley. Well, maybe we should do the Valley.
Should we look at the comments?
Oh, yes. We probably should answer some. Dude, we're fucking not on the rails today.
Well,
could be the cough syrup. It could be the...
I got a phone call because people are going to make fun of me. My cat's got an abscess. It's at the vet. Trin was worried. Okay, let's go back here.
What do we got? How many do we have here?
For one, Brian Castleman wanted to clarify when we were talking about his truck. It actually has 530,000 miles.
Okay.
Heads have never been off. Still running. Original injectors that have had O-rings replaced twice. Original turbo that he rebuilt at 500K. Maintenance is always key.
How impressive is that?
That is insane.
Original injectors.
Yes.
Brian Castleman, you are the man.
Dude.
You are the king.
So cool, Brian.
And he's going to be at the show this year.
He is?
Yes.
Thank God. Oh, I missed him so much last year. I was like, what the heck, Brian?
He looks
and Jennifer are not going to be here?
Yeah, they are the coolest people. So if you're at our truck show this year, if you Brian looks menacing. He's got this ZZ Top style beard.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. He's the softest, nicest guy ever, dude. You can walk up to him. He's very shy. I shouldn't say, he's probably making me mad I said this, but he's super like,
he's just humble.
Very humble. Yes, thank you. That's what I'm looking for. And Jennifer's a sweetheart. Don't cross her though. She'll probably stab you.
Jennifer, I still remember the first time she grabbed that trophy, that like 80-pound pro trophy, and just like picked it up with one arm and walked off. And like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, she can get shit done. But anyway, they are the nicest people, and his truck is truly like, it shits on anything I own. I still to this day, because it's not like he framed off it. It gets driven all the fucking time and you never know.
It has 530,000 miles.
Yeah. Like I tell people like, oh man, the Princess truck, the blue truck, whatever. Like, dude, that's nothing. Brian's truck shits on it all day long. You know, because it gets driven and used. Mine are fucking like garage trophies compared to that.
So impressive.
What else we got?
So I think
talking about the Holly fuel. Oh wait, sorry. Toolbox in truck. What's that one about?
Let's see. Toolbox and truck. Dadism. Better to have it in the truck and not need it than to not have it in the truck and need it.
That's a good dadism.
That's from Dieter Taylor.
That's good.
That's true.
That is true.
I mean, I have found that, and maybe this is the superstition side of me. I try not to let like get a hold of me, but usually if I pack the tools that I might need,
sure,
then when I go on a trip, I don't usually need them.
Right.
If I don't pack the tools and I'm like, I'm fine, then something will come up and it's like, oh, really? The one time I decided to leave that at home, I actually need it.
Never fails.
Never fails.
Okay, that's a good dadism.
Tyler Hoy talking about Holley fuel systems. What's needed to go from the factory fuel injection on a 96 460 to a Holley sniper kit?
Not much. It's obviously when you buy the Holley system, I'd get the full meal deal with the distributor.
Which one?
Coil pack. Oh, it's dude. You had to ask me that. Holley sells it as the complete kit with the. This is a good Ryan question. It gets right to it. I always there's so many on their website. Let's see.
Can we go on their website and see?
Whose website? Ryan's?
On Holley's. Yeah, Shop by vehicle. Yeah, okay, let's just put it in there.
Yeah, do a 90. Let's just do a 95 F250. I would just go injection systems, but
Ford.
Yeah, sure.
We'll go F350 just because the goofiness.
Yep.
Oh, 99.
See, go by categories. Go by injection. Go by categories. Fuel and air delivery. You were there. Over to the left. We'll keep going up, all the way to the top. Air and fuel delivery. Okay, EFI injection system. And there's gonna be some nerds listening to this. They're like, "That's not the one you want." Blah blah. Dude, trust me. It's so if you do the EFI sniper, which is like pretty much gets it done for like what 600, 500 horse. It'll tell you here what it does. See that right there comes with your distributor, your coil. You can upgrade the coil to a higher end setup. It'll tell you what the horsepower rating is on it.
All these naturally aspirated.
Yeah.
Like the lowest number was 175, but don't worry about that. That's a one injector.
But so your sniper 650, dude. Look at your numbers on that. Like 650, like give or take.
Yeah.
I mean, like it really for what it is, it's not a bad system. It's easy to install, but I would definitely not use the factory distributor. There's a better. I can't remember if I found it. It shows the full meal deal with the higher end coil pack. Because the
distributor, are you using it for spark as well, or are you just using it for a crank sensor?
No, you're using it for both.
Cam.
It's basically both animals, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So it shows. Let's see here. Do F150. It'd probably be easier on that. See it? Oh, maybe.
Oh, it does. No, let's go 95. Will it do this in an F250?
It doesn't matter. I'm just
curious year wise. Nope. Yeah.
Doesn't do it, huh?
F150 is the only. But I know that they do it for the other ones. 95, find your parts.
There's Nick Eisenhower.
Nick Eisenhower. We need to talk to him again.
We do.
Dude, Nick is
a solid human.
Such a nice guy.
So let's keep scrolling. So there's your standalone distributors. But if you go back, you can search through categories. I don't really like Holly's website for when it comes to the search deal. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But you can buy the complete package, which is the upgraded coil. It has everything you need with the distributor. I don't like the running the factory distributor and tagging into it. I think it's kind of dorky.
Yeah.
But if you're on a budget, that might be what you want to do. Like it's funny, Lance threw one of these on, did it in his garage, and traveled all the way from way down in San Diego area, if give or take, if I remember that's where he's at, all the way to the truck show, ripped it back down, no problems whatsoever.
Like, how soon did he do it? Did he like test drive before?
He said he did minimal test drives with it. He didn't have time.
Sounds like Lance.
Yeah, which I love about him.
Yeah.
So I think like the Holly system. So
on a 460 though, do you have to change the intake manifold, or are you running it?
So if it's yes, you would have to, because our 460s are set up to be
like a throttle body, like 2-barrel.
Right. You have to change the intake to an old style kind of carburetor style, unless you're going to do a port injection.
Do the Terminator X.
But still that gives you a different intake as well.
Can you do the port injection? Yeah, keeping injectors.
Your factory one?
Factory injectors?
I don't think so. Not enough.
Okay.
I don't think that's. I don't think they do that.
Can you do a coil on plug?
Not that I know of. Not without changing to a full standalone system.
Where the distributor would just be a cam sensor.
And I'm pretty sure you can't there's no one doing that unless you do. Oh, what system was I was looking at for that Man of War block? Holly does a super high end intake that mimics kind of a LS style. And you get rid of the distributor and you put in basically a cam synchro that gives you your and it does a coil on plug style.
Right.
They do on that one. And don't get me wrong, dude, I'm not an expert of this. This is what we've ran into and what we've discovered and where we're going with it. But the Holly systems, I would make a phone call if you are looking at it, and depending on your budget. If you're like, hey, I don't have a budget, it does make life easier that way. And I would do the full meal deal. I would not do, like I said, I would not run the factory distributor. And if you are going to run the factory distributor, buy a new one from like Napa or a name brand parts house, because it used to be that our TFI module and our pickup and distributors on our gassers would always fail, especially 302s and 351s. And we used to have to press them apart. And hopefully we didn't magnetize them when doing that and put a new pickup in it and press it back together. They were a pain in the butt. Nowadays, you can buy what we've been discovering. You can buy like Napa sells a good brand new distributor that comes with a pickup and a TFI module, and they'll do the job for you. You don't have to do any pressing apart and putting back together.
I put one of those in my 460 truck.
Yeah, they were good.
They work great.
Yeah, and with rotating electrical these days, the way the parts are getting, rotating electrical is kind of hard nowadays with everything coming out of China. And almost, it used to be like you can rely on Eklund stuff or Delphi shit or, all these, but now we're just like, it doesn't even matter anymore. It really is a struggle for rotating electrical, be it starters, alternators, distributors.
Right.
It sucks balls. It used to be, dude, you pay a little extra, you get a good Eklund product. Or if I'm doing GM stuff and I want a factory. AC Delco shit was awesome.
Yeah.
And they're still pretty solid, but the quality has gone downhill even for the price you pay, which sucks. But Napa does a good job. I feel like Napa, like for your, I'm not a fan of O'Reilly's or any of these other places, although sometimes they sell the same shit depending on what their product line are. So you can always find that as well.
Right.
But yeah, I think the Napa Eklund stuff still, for the majority, kicks ass. So anyway, that's on the fuel injection question. I don't
it's not that complicated to do. No. And honestly, Tyler Hoy, I don't think that this guy would mind if we threw him out there. It would be, what is his username?
Name sounds familiar.
Unashamed.
OBS.
Talk if you're listening to this, I am fairly certain that this guy named Tyler Morrison, on Instagram, it's unashamed_OBS. He has done the Holly system. I think he's got the Terminator though, not the Sniper.
Right.
on his 460 truck and really loves it. He would be a really great resource for you. And yeah, it's not that complicated. I've installed them on like a 355 Chevy,
They're easy.
in a Blazer. Like, they're pretty simple and they work really good.
Yeah.
And the self-tuning feature gets you about 80% of the way there.
I'd say so.
You know, like if you could totally just self-tune and drive it. It's fine. If you want the most out of it, take it to a dyno and somebody that knows how to tune an engine properly, and then you're really going to get the most out of it.
We did those two those two Edelbrock setups that are port injected.
Yep.
On the 460s, and I don't like them.
Really?
Holly. Yeah, we've had nothing but problems with them. I don't think they're.
Is that what did you do in Nailers?
That was one of them. We've had like
Edelbrock?
Yeah, and I told our machinist, I'm like, dude, these things kind of suck. The setup was easier than the Holly. I feel like, and they look cooler. Trust me, port injection looks a lot cooler, but
Holly does port injection.
They do. Yeah.
It's their Terminator series,
yes,
right?
and Ryan just like our machinist, like, hey, we've been using this. I don't know if he really like he's used it before in other vehicles, but we had some hiccups with the 520 stroker and that 460. We've kind of had some hiccups.
Okay.
So I don't know. But anyway, that's being said. So there you go, Tyler. I hope that helps you. What do you got? We got another one? We're down?
No, down's pretty old.
Okay. So we answered
gone through those.
We're good.
No, we've got others.
Oh, we got others.
Maybe we ought to come on the I don't know what that one is.
Interesting.
Somebody commented on the last episode that the Toyota Trucker was made in part with Winnebago. There was also the Breaker.
The Breaker. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Let's see what a Toyota Breaker is.
Those Toyota motorhomes are so cool. They look like they barely get out of their own way, though.
Oh, it's because we were talking about like how the 4Runner came to be.
They called it the Breaker. I've seen one of those in real life.
Really?
Yes, there was one. Lisa and I were in Shasta City walking, and I saw one of those, and I couldn't understand what it was.
Dude, they're so wild. Cool. So what we're looking at right now is like a first-gen Toyota pickup long bed.
I'm going to call it a Toyota Bronco.
Yeah.
It's a Toyota Bronco.
It's a Toyota Bronco.
It looks like, okay, the one on the far right looks like a hermit crab. That's the shell on its back.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very interesting.
Tell me they have an internal roll bar, like that one in the far bottom middle.
Yeah, I think they do.
How cool is that? Oh, that, I've never, I didn't understand that it was a thing. I thought someone hodgepodge it together.
No, that's the Toyota Breaker.
Can you imagine how much those things are worth right now? I bet they made limited runs of that shit.
Oh, I bet they're worth a lot of money. And first-gen Toyota guys are just, yeah.
Eric's one of them.
Eric is one.
First-gen
sure.
Toyota guy.
Wow,
that was a good one.
Did we have any Instagram ones that we need to go over? Didn't
Kenny? I think Kenny sent. Maybe we'll have to address it the next podcast.
How do we switch this? Switch accounts. Truckery podcast. Let's see if this works.
All right.
Oh, it did.
You did it, John.
Messages. No.
That's a clean truck.
Let's see. Forgot to mention. Hey guys.
Okay.
Question for the pod outside the normal decent diesel content you cover. This is from Richard Rankin. I have a 95 F-150 XL with 302 auto that's been starting to show its age. It has just under 250,000 kilometers, which is 155,000 miles. I didn't know that off the top of my head. He said that. I shouldn't have said that. I should have just been like, yeah.
Dude, I was going to be impressed.
Right in my head.
I was going to be really impressed. And then I looked and I said it.
Yeah. Has a 6-inch lift with 35s. When I did the lift, I changed the front and rear diffs to bump the ratio from 331 to 355. Most likely going to drop back to 285s when I'm buying my next set of tires. Just wondering what you guys recommend to wake the truck up. Is it worth rebuilding the engine slightly over to a 306-ish? Rebuild with a stroker, 347, rebuilding with force induction, sourcing a donor 351, swapping that or a Cummins swap with a 6BT. Additionally, I think I should redo the gearing to 410s, but I've read a lot of people are doing 456s. Any thoughts? Unsure on what a half-ton chassis can handle with going bigger. It has a flow. With going bigger, it has a flow on effect to swapping out other driveline components. Been interested to hear what you recommend.
Okay, so that's a loaded question. Have you ever heard of an LS?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean,
excuse me. The other one would be what's your budget?
yes.
Like, there's a lot of options he threw out there, and Richard, it just depends on what your budget is. You might be surprised, like throwing some headers on it, and maybe some different heads, some headers, a cam, and kind of live.
And like we've talked about,
an injection
like
system,
a Holley injection system.
Exactly. There's
Get rid of the eek.
Yeah, there's a lot of goobers on here. I listen. They're like, eek's the best thing. There's tuners for it. Like, yes, I'm sure there are, but with modern day, like new standalone fuel injection systems, the only bummer is if it's an auto, then you need to do a standalone transmission controller, which sucks ass. And like,
I mean, you can get one from like HGM Electronics.
I would do a US shift after what we discovered. US shift.
Have you used HGM?
No, but we did research on HGM, and the US shift had less inputs needed, it seemed like.
Okay.
And I mean, not to say that don't use them. I'm just saying what our experience is.
No, totally.
The US shift was easy to install, and customer support was freaking phenomenal.
That is key.
To me, that's a big one. So, but I like everything from, hey, make it a stroked out 302 to put a 351 in it to, I've heard I know a lot of people have to do like 4BT Cummins.
I would not do a 4BT.
I would not do a 4BT, and I don't know if I'd do a Cummins in a half ton. I think, but I would rather do an LS or actually I'd rather do a 351 stroked out. I don't know. It just depends on what your price point is. How far do you want to go down the rabbit hole?
Exactly. We sell motor mounts for a Cummins in an F-150.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. But honestly, not that I'm trying to like discourage people from doing that. They can, the frames are really not that much different than the F-250s. But that factory 8.8 rear axle is not very stout. The 44 actually up front does okay, but I don't know, man. I think that if you want to keep it forward and you don't want to do an engine swap, then go into like a built 351 or a Borden stroked 347, which 302. Would be a good way to go if you go with like a proper injection system like Holley.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it sounds bad to say it, but like I'd either LS swap it because like that's not very hard to do.
Did an LS swap with a GM tranny behind it. The standalones are forever. It doesn't even. It's
and
awesome.
The support.
Yeah.
For LS with a 4L80.
Yes.
Like it's so hard to beat that. Yeah, I don't,
But the purists are going to like show up with pitchforks and torches.
Yeah, let them burn themselves down.
But you'll be riding in the LS
But you're talking to a guy who's putting a Duramax and an Allison in one of these.
You like to party.
I like to party. And I would throw an LS in one in a heartbeat. Like, honestly, if I was in your position, it would be a 6-liter LS with a 4L80, a rugged standalone system that just,
easy to work on.
Easy to work on. And figure out what transfer case I want. And 410 gears. I would go 410s with that setup.
Might as well start doing Super D axles.
Yeah, you could start doing all, like if you're going to change the gears, I'd probably change the axles. If you want to keep the TTB, go TTB 50.
Yeah, and now you upgraded to an F-250. Congratulations.
Exactly.
Yeah. And look at the picture of that truck. That is a badass looking truck.
It's a pretty sweet truck.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's a clean, what do you, party cab stumpy box?
Yeah, which, I mean, that there isn't a lot of clean ones out there. So,
no.
I mean, Richard, I hope that's some good info for you. Listen, we don't claim to be experts, so this is basically what we've discovered. And, I mean, thanks for listening to our Derpy podcast. Next up.
Sometimes it's hard to find.
Yeah, it is.
You guys ever see 4x4 vans from the 70s and 80s? Oh no, that's an old
That's
one.
the old one. I think.
A lot of these are just mentions.
Okay.
Let's see what the requests are.
Oh.
Nick Martin said, "Great podcast. Where do we send listener questions?"
Right here.
Right here, bud.
Yeah.
Send it on over.
Send it on over. We'll try to answer as best as possible.
We'll do the best we can. And mentioned us in the story. Okay. So I think if we've missed you guys, I'm really sorry. The best way is Spotify or Instagram, or email us, the Truckery Podcast.
We try real hard here.
Gmail.
We're trying harder every day. So
we honestly are.
Bear with us.
But
okay. Well, on that note, what's our time?
Hour 30.
Probably should wrap this.
We should probably wrap this.
All right. Well, thanks.
Truck show.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We're doing a truck show, aren't we?
You are. I'm just there.
Just showing up.
I just pay you to be there.
I drink beer and fucking have a good time.
Yeah.
15th and 16th of August, Powerland Heritage Park, Brooks, Oregon. It'll be the 6th year we've done it. We're giving away free. Well, you have to just come into the show. Then it's free.
How much is it to get in the show?
I think it's $20 this year per truck.
Per truck.
So you can put 10 people in a truck. It's $20.
What about my excursion?
What about it?
I can fit 20 people in there. Can I like cruise in?
You could cruise
with
in.
That?
You can. You could totally
like
cruise in.
Like as a discount?
No, listen. You cruise in, right? When you're excursion.
Yeah.
But then you have to go park it way out in the back.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll hide it, but like I can funnel people in with that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, but we're giving away a 33,000 mile truck. I'm going to mention this again. I'm going to beat the shit out of it before the truck show. And I bought it with my own money. It is absolutely meticulous. It's an amazing truck. I found it. This old guy wanted to sell it to me. I bought it. I was going to make it 4-wheel drive real quick. And then I thought, fuck this. Let's give this thing away at the truck show. I've always wanted to give away a truck at our show. And it's basically, if you have a cell phone and you have a QR code reader on it, which you should, then...
that's a camera.
Oh, thank you. It's a camera. And you just scan the QR code on our giveaway truck and you're entered. It's that easy. And so like I said, if you have your wife, girlfriend, side chick, whatever's with you, same thing. She enters. Your kids have cell phones. They take a screen. They get the QR code. They're entered. So it's that easy to win this truck.
Perfect.
Yep. And we just put Alcoas on it. We're putting new tires on it because the tires are actually the original tires that are on it.
With the original air?
Yes.
Wink,
That's
wink.
a good one. That's a fucking good one. Yes. The insiders will get that. So, yes, with original air in the tires.
Good.
So we figure it's not safe for people to drive. So we're going to put new tires on it. And so I hope you guys, we hope to see you at the show. John's going to be there, of course.
And we are giving away a coilover front suspension kit.
Thank you, John.
Because the excursion's not allowed to be in the show, you're only going to be able to choose from the TTB 50 coilover kit and the Dana 60 for OBS stuff.
Yes.
But that, if I am correct in this, you just have to pre-reg for the show.
And you're entered to win.
And you're entered to win that. Not to mention, there's $30,000 plus worth of raffle items.
Yes.
And it's at the Powerland Heritage Park in Brooks, Oregon, which, whether you're in, like, if your significant other is not into trucks,
which most aren't.
Yeah. The Powerland Heritage Park is still a really neat place to be. There's so much cool stuff to see. There's like a full belt-driven machine shop. There's
old vintage tractors, steam-powered tractors.
The very first four-wheel drive vehicle ever made was there last year.
It was?
Yes.
What was that?
The dude that lives right near there, I can't remember his name, works for Caterpillar.
Yes.
He was telling us about it. It's like a multi-million-dollar vehicle.
Like a tractor?
I don't remember. I don't know. It's like, I didn't see it, but he's like, yeah, it's sitting out there. It runs and drives. I won't drive it because it's worth like $2 million.
And not to mention, they have one of the coolest what do you call it? What do you call those miniature trains
that you ride on? 8th scale or something? Where
adults
you can
and kids,
ride on it.
Oh. And it's like just donations only.
It's the best time.
It's
ever.
a good time. As long as it doesn't come off the tracks. But it's in like a park setting. It's good for kids, adults. Absolutely amazing venue. We hope to have you guys there. Like I said, August 15th and 16th in Brooks, Oregon. Check out the No BS OBS Truck Show. Like I said, come visit, hang out with John and I. Obviously, Skylar's going to be there from Skies Off Road. We're going to have CP guys there all the way from Texas.
Greg and Gary.
Of course, Craig and Gary.
from SoCal. You know, the bros.
The Desolate Boys are bringing some cool stuff this year.
The Desolate Bros.
Flat bills and square sunglasses.
They're bringing cool stuff?
Yes, a two-wheel drive, new lift kit for two-wheel drive.
The Calypso truck is coming?
Yes, I call it the Jesus truck.
The Jesus truck.
There's a joke behind that, so
okay.
we call it the Jesus truck. But they came out with a two-wheel drive F250, F350 two-wheel drive suspension.
Which I'm stoked for.
Which is like low slung. It's not like all broy and stuff. It looks really good on Greg's truck. So, and I think we're gonna have some other stuff coming pipeline. But anyway, a lot of their vendors will be there. I think Will's gonna try to get a set of tires given away. I know there's some interesting characters showing up. So we'd love to have you. And like I said, we talked about Brian and Jennifer Castleman all the way from Texas are coming. You said the young gal, or the gentleman with that long travel bullnose IDI is coming.
Yeah, from San Diego.
That truck looks gnarly.
We have people that have come from the East Coast. It's funny when I see comments that are like,
it's too far
like
away.
On the YouTube video, like, you should do one here. Like, well, I appreciate the input, but at the same time, like, there's people that drive further than where you live,
right,
to come to this show. And it's not because, like, you're a big deal or anything. It's just, like, people want to come out, and it's really... If you make a trip out of it, you know, you can see different parts of the country.
Yes.
Come to a rad show, check it out, drive home, maybe meet some people that are making a similar trip to you.
Right.
And caravan that, you know, like, what do you call that? The convoy?
Oh, an OBS convoy.
Yeah, give it the old OBS convoy. I might know somebody that is potentially bringing an OBS van truck with a Cummins in it, towing an OBS.
See, this is the kind of cool shit you see.
Yeah.
And remember, our truck show isn't about show trucks. I really kick myself for naming it a truck show because I don't want that to make like people think, oh, I have to have a show truck. Fuck no. I want it to be, and we have this all the time. Like, we don't really strive to be like, oh, you need to have a shiny truck. It could be a work truck. It could be something that uses daily. It could be an OG truck that has barely any miles on it. It could be something that's all pressed out on big wide rubber bands and big wheels. I mean, it is everything that you will see in genres. Now, the Valley has a theme for off-road trucks. We're more of mountainous kind of like things here in the Valley. You'll see some Central Oregon stuff. You'll see the stuff that comes from Southern California. You get to see it all. It's all different stuff.
And I want somebody to show up like full on bags laid out. Like body drop.
We never get that.
You know, like
we're not getting that yet.
Yeah, bring something that's like in the weeds.
Yes.
You know, magnesium balls on the back that shoots sparks. Like that would be awesome.
Anyway, check it out. 15th and 16th of August. It's a Friday, Saturday, 2-day event.
Yep.
Love to see you guys there. And John, thanks for having me again.
Of course.
Obviously, we just piggybacked off this because you could tell I'm still sick. I'm wearing the same shirt, so we're just doubling up on our shows.
Yeah, it's same day.
Same day. We're just having a good time. And we might do another one. So anyway, thanks everyone. You're listening to the Truckery Podcast with John.
From Cara Customs.
And I'm Devin with OBS Solutions.
We'll talk to you later. Cheers.